Hello folks, welcome back to Technology Review. I'm your host, Mac Jackson Jr. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and my website at macjacksonjr.com. Go to Facebook and join my groups there and give us a thumbs up. We appreciate it as well. If you have any emails you want to send me, send them to info@macjacksonjr.com. In this segment we call it New Tech Gadgets, folks. New Tech Gadgets. This is apps that I recommend you should have on your smart devices before you go online. If you'd like to find out more about me, we have a cool little app that you can text for more information on my services from MJ Computer Concepts and Technology Review by sending a text on your smart device to 444. That's 444-999, 444-999, 444-999, and text the word MAC, M-A-C-K, to 444-999. You receive information from my company and my business and things that we are working on here. I want to thank again our sponsors. One of our awesome sponsors I'd like to give a shout out to real quick is from a desktop cloud service company out of Washington State, InSync. Thank you, InSync, being part of our show here, Technology Review. Now, one of the first apps I'm recommending that people take a look at is an app to store and track information. Basically, this app is really amazing and beyond just cool. I've used it for years. I have it on my smartphone, my desktop, my laptop. The program is called Evernote. With Evernote, you can take a picture of anything, folks, anything, business cards, someone's face, and you make a little notation about it. You save it to the cloud, save it to your device, and now that information is accessible anytime, anywhere you need it. Here's a good example. Let's say you're at a really nice restaurant and you're having a great glass of wine with your meal. You wanted to remember the manufacturer of that bottler of that wine. You can take a picture of that wine bottle, folks, and that bottle will be available for you next time you have an event. You're looking to have a great bottle of wine. You go to your Evernote, type in just a simple text search of the event you were at before, and there's a photo of the vintage bottle of wine. Simple, easy to do. You use it for anything, food that you eat, anything, business cards, all of it. Now, that's on the personal side. On the business side, you could use it to save all of your tax information, your bank statements, and important documents can also be saved in the cloud. And yes, folks, they are encrypted. This information is encrypted and protected. So it's something to think about. It's a product called Evernote. You can find it going to evernote.com. It's EVERNOTE, Evernote. Great application, a great program to use for your information and your data. So let's talk about smart devices. On the show, I talk a lot about the desktop, the laptops we use at work, and we talk about antivirus software that you should have on your desktop, which most of us do because our IT people make sure that your desktops and laptops have a great firewall and they're protected. Well, what about the next computer systems that we are carrying with us personally? Those are our smart devices, from our phones, our tablets. All of these devices as well should have antivirus software connected to them to give them an extra layer of protection. Now, when I go to businesses and I ask the question, how many of you have antivirus software on your smartphones? We get a few people that raise their hand because they weren't aware of it. They're assuming that the ISP or their phone company is responsible and will make sure that they're not going to get any viruses on their systems, on their phones. Not true. You need to have antivirus software on your phones to protect them from hackers, because folks, yes, there are hackers that are out there trying to get your personal identifiable information, and the ways they're doing it are going through your smartphone. We have a story that came out this week regarding routers. If you've been listening to my show here for the last 3 years and my radio before that, we've talked about routers, home routers that should be protected, because your routers at work to access the internet are protected by your IT departments. The IT department spends hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, or in other corporations, millions of dollars to protect the firewall of your network system, information system. But at home, we don't spend millions of dollars. We'll buy a router from one of the local computer stores and pay $50 for it, and it's plug and play, and we plug it in, and there, bang, we're on the internet, right? You may go in and change the default password to a password that you remember. But remember, we've talked about that. If you listen to my shows before, we've talked about not using a password, to use a passphrase. Well, now, folks, it's in the news again that routers are being attacked with this new attack called crack. Crack stands for a key reinstallation attack, which means that the firmware on these routers, there is a vulnerability allowing these routers to be bypassed the passwords, and hackers are able to put malicious information on your computers going directly through your router. Directly through your router, folks. So it's very important that we do a couple of things, and one of the things I'll let you know about is always make a backup of your system if necessary. Put it in the cloud. Second, use the updates when they come through your phones, through your laptops, desktops. Make sure that you have the latest updates that you're getting from your manufacturers of your device. The manufacturers will make sure that your devices are updated with the latest, greatest antivirus software programs available, because they are on top of this. All manufacturers of software and hardware are on top of the malware that's being created by hackers. Folks, we are in a cyber war right now, and a cyber terrorism does exist, so make sure that you have the latest setup on your system. Okay, so that takes care of antivirus software. Now, let's continue this. So let's say that you are away from your office, away from home, and you want to have access to the internet. What do? You hook up to a Wi-Fi hotspot, either at a coffee shop or a hotel or even at a friend's house, right? And you're on the internet. Remember, your phone now has antivirus software. That is good. That's very good. But you also need an additional piece of software application, and that is a VPN, virtual private network, folks. It's called a VPN. I recommend you have a VPN set up on your system, because what this does is gives you a cloak around your smart device while you're surfing or attached to the internet, and it keeps your identity, your IP address hidden from the hacker. They're looking for your IP address, and once they get your IP address, they can take a look at what's in your computer. Now, they may not put anything on it. They could just watch as you are going through your information. They get information from your computer. So it's very, very important, folks, that you take a look at these pieces of information available out there. Again, one of them for you is a VPN, virtual private network. If you would go to your iTunes store, if you have an iOS device, an iPhone device, or the Google store, if you have an Android device, and do a search for VPN, Valerie Paul Nancy, VPN, and take a look at the highest rating VPNs out there and take a look at them. There's a couple one I would recommend. There's a company called Hotspot Shield. That's Hotspot Shield that we have recommended. And they're not a sponsor of our show yet, but I want to definitely give them a shout out. They have a VPN that's been very, very good. I've used it for a couple of years, and it's been maintained up to 5 devices for me. I suggest you take a look at software systems like Hotspot Shield to protect your information. Once you get that protected, it will give you extra layer of protection. I've also had questions from viewers that have asked, what about you staying at a hotel and the hotel gives you a password? All right, is that protected? Think about it, folks. If you have an open hotspot that anybody can have access to, now you put an extra layer of a password, that means everyone in that hotel can have access to the internet and not anybody from the outside, right? However, what if the bad guys are checked into that hotel? They have the same password as you have. Now everybody in that hotel with the bad guy can be vulnerable. It can be compromised. So yes, having a VPN is still very, very important, even though the hotel or wherever you're staying has a password to the internet. You still need an extra layer of protection. It's recommended. There's also other things you could do as well. When you're on the internet and you're surfing, make sure that you have your passwords protected by using a program called LastPass. That's spelled LASTPASS, LastPass. LastPass will protect all of your passwords, your user IDs, and passwords for all the websites that you browse through. All you have to remember is one user ID and one password. It's a very good system. Definitely check that out. If you'd like to find out more information about what we talked about or contact me, you can find me at MacJacksonJr.com on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Definitely send me emails. We definitely appreciate it. We have another segment coming up for you too, folks, here on Technology Review, but we'll be right back right here after these messages. Thank you.